Welcome to Bear Essentials with Bear Buyers, and today we're going to talk about the optimization station. You're right, it's one of the most asked for items from Division 1 that finally got here. Now, the average player or the above average player kind of realizes that if they want to bring back the optimization station where you could max everything out, everything would be maxed out, there'd be no farming, and people would eventually get tired with the game very quickly and it would be gone. So, as it's been warned the last few weeks, the optimization station is kind of the beginning. Now, where you find it, you find it at the recalibration station right here in its own menu called optimization. So, but a little warning, it's very, very expensive and it costs a lot of resources that are brand new. And since this just came out in the last 48 hours, it has really, it's going to be a grind to get a lot of these details. And I even had a big jump start by having, you've heard this before, me talk about having the 4 characters fully developed, and you can have it. So here, just look at this item right here, the battle gear. It's just a tick under being perfect. And you can see that it requires a ton of resources. 111 gloves you need to break down to get those points. You get, well, each glove you break down, you're going to get 1 point. That's it. That's it. Now, do you want to go in there and craft 111 items and break it down? You know, that would work, but that's just one item. And that's a lot of resources in itself. Now, granted, I have a lot of resources already built up, and yeah, I could do that. And we'll work on that today after this video. We'll play around with that. Maybe I'll do some of it live and you can kind of see some of the ways that we can possibly get this one item just a little bit better than it is. That's it. But these resources right here, you can see I got a big jump start on by 200 and 100 assets already given up, and I've done that by having so much build up on my watches, by having those 4 characters, having my watch over 1,000. Every time I gain a level, I'm going to actually gain a resource cache on each character. Detected. So actually one level becomes 4 caches, one on each character. And as we look down here and we look at these caches, you can see that we have these open. Now you'll have these caches that you can open for resources, but they're random. You can see that we got no gloves in this one we opened. You know, we got black tusk, we got pistols. We're not upgrading any of that. Now the chests are fine, and the season 4 stuff gives us season 4 stuff, you know. So it's a few construction threads there, but nothing that really helps us recalibrate something of a major issue. Now, if you are trying to recalibrate something that's half full, you know, like is like 7 points out of 15, you're going to spend so much resources to get that up. It would really be a bad point. The optimization station is only to tweak those last smidgets of a point. You're still going to want to grind for that highest gear. And right now, there's a lot of people out there building some great builds with the TU12 builds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you know, go check out some of the other Kamikaze Von Doom. It's got a TU12 build. King Macho did a build today, which it came out of the woodwork like a, well, I can say the little insect that nobody likes. But, you know, he's even making videos today. There's a lot of videos coming back. In fact, I found You know, I follow a lot of the content creators, no matter how big, how small, for the top 13. I found over 50 brand new people that's made videos for the first time this week. 50 new people. So there's a lot of information out there. And there's a lot of people seeking information, because for every content creator that's back in the game and playing the game, how many players are back in the game and grinding and checking it out and seeing if they're going to stay, and see if they can optimize. But this optimizer is very good. Now, how you get these shade calibrations is you can do weekly projects. You get 1 for the daily and 5 for each weekly. Now, again, if you have four accounts on, or 4 characters on your one account, you can share all that stuff, and you can build that up. So you can actually gain 4 per day or 20 per week on the weeklies. It adds up, and it adds up very well. But that's only one part of it. Like I say, you're going to have to break down 100 vests. It doesn't matter how many accounts you have on, or how many characters you have on the one account. You're still going to have to break down 111 chests to go up 0.2 points on one piece of equipment. So again, it is to finish off your best pieces. It's going to make it just that little much better. And if your tactics are good, you shoot well, you play well, you know when to heal, you know when to do that, having everything maxed out, even that, just that extra little bit, gives you that much more advantage over the next person, especially if you're playing PvP. The best strategy, technique, and the best ability to put bullets on target and make them count wins. It's just not the build, it's just not your tactics, it's everything rolled into one. And if you don't have the best build or the best stats to build with, you're way behind. So here's my watch. You can see I got 800 levels. Now I had 1,000, but I already used up a bunch just to get me the points that I did. I got 200 of one and 100 of the other. So I used 200 points just to get those 2 different items on this, just to see how it is. But we're going to need all those gloves broken down. We're going to need all those vests broken down if we want to fix a vest. So we're going to have to go out there and grind, and you don't want to leave any material on the ground and just trash it. The days of selling loot are long gone. You want to make your money by bounties. All your equipment's going to need to be broke down. You don't want to leave it on the floor, and you don't want to sell it. It's too valuable in the resources, so you can optimize the equipment that you do keep down to the best. This also makes grinding at the highest level with all the directives on so important. Now you also have faction points down here at the bottom. So like aces and eights needs these right here. So it needs the cleaners to optimize. Now you have to check each set out. And this weekend I'm planning on going through each set and kind of help you guys out when it comes to optimize as I talk about each set, from aces and eights to riggers to the regular sets, from Alp Summit all the way to the brand new Imperial International, Empress International. Each one will break down the points, will break down how much it takes to acquire it, all those kind of different things. And the green sets, then I'll tell you which ones you have to break down, which faction you need to break down to be able to optimize those. Like if you have Emperor's International, what do you need to break down to improve that, since it's a brand new set and you want to optimize it to its best ability? And there's some this season is definitely give a big nod to the crafting of skill builds, and skill builds are going to be even more OP, overpowered, the thing to use more than even before. Uh, Now, I noticed that some people are still running the glass cannon on some things, and that's great, but you have to be good at not taking damage. Because one or two big shots with glass cannon on, you're dead. There's no bringing you back at that point. You're going to have to be careful, um, and if you're not, you can't be face tanking with that kind of thing on, or you just got to be face tanking where you're killing everything so quick. And if you got a build that does that, it's probably going to get nerfed. So be very careful. If avoiding damage is not your playstyle, you probably want to go with something a little safer than glass cannon. But it does hit. It's the second best. It is the second best damage on a vest. And you're going to say, Bear, what's the best damage? Well, that would be focus. Focus does more damage with no drawbacks. The only thing is you have to live in your scope, meaning that your field of vision is way down. You're going to have a team that's watching your flanks, but you can do 40% damage and not have to take 60% damage, more of incoming damage. So focus is still the hardest hitting chess talent out there, not bar none. Now, if you're a sniper and you can get headshots, headhunters, uh, named chest still provides the best because it gives you up to 150 times if you're invested in headshot, um, the damage from the previous headshot kill. So once you get a headshot, you daisy chain them in, meaning one shot after another to the head, and you have like a number of seconds to get that shot. You don't have to, bang, bang, bang. You can bang, get your shot, make sure you got that shot, bang, get the next one, and by that time you're taking out anybody in the game at that point. So glass cannon isn't the end all be all with the damage. It isn't the best in slot like a lot of people say, but it is one of the best ones if you cannot specialize. If you can't live in a scope, if you don't live in a scope, like a sniper has to, or anybody that has a ×8 or better, uh, to qualify for the focus. Now, there was a time that you could abuse focus and actually have 4 times on there that counted as if it did, and yes, those days should be gone. I haven't checked. Not into cheesing builds or encouraging glitches or defaults, but if you found them and you're okay with it and you're willing to take the responsibility for it, by all means. So that's kind of the overview, of that part of the game and the builds. The optimization station, again, is for those last few builds like these that need to just have a few bits and pieces, to round them out. If you're trying to change that blue on this item right here, it's going to take you 400 or 500 resources to knock that completely up. So you're better off using your recalibration station for that one thing, finding god roll, triple god rolls, double god rolls, and using your recalibrate to get the one item that isn't completely filled out. Do the summit with 4 or 5 directives on. Do those checkpoints with heroic and the directives on. You're going to find that you're going to find really, really, really good loot, and you're not going to have to do as much on this optimization station. But it is a tool. It is now here. And if you can amass the categories of these items, you can be better than the next guy playing the game. And I know some of you that really enjoy conflict and PvP, you need every advantage you can get. You want the totally maxed out builds. Or you should if you want to be the best. And if you have great tactics and you're winning already, great. But you can even be better. Yeah, you would want to do that. When are you not? So Optimization Station can do that for you. We've showed you where it is. We've showed you it's going to be a nightmare getting all the resources together, but not impossible. And again, don't be afraid if you got a ton of resources to craft 10 things, because you're going to get different skills or different pieces to break down when you then you're using for your optimization savings. Craft some, break them down, and gain some back. Yeah, you're losing on some aspects, but there's ways to get those materials that's a lot easier than getting other ones. So if you need 10 or 15, think about crafting those. It's what it's there for. If you find something really good, keep it. Break down everything else. Also, if you would have followed my advice when I told you a few days ago, hey, have everything built up, have your inventories full, have all 4 accounts full, have them all through New York, have that all prepped. But if you did not do that, now's the time to take the time to get all 4 accounts active. Now, I know a few of you have a hardcore account, so that means you're going to have 3 active accounts. And to be honest, you're going to be behind the curve when it comes to other people, because you can't share with your hardcore character, which you should be able to share resources and stuff like that. And I hope they make it fair for some of you that elected to have a hardcore character instead of 4 regular world characters. I do hope they either create another slot just for nothing. If you don't play hardcore, you can't fill that slot. The only thing that 5th slot is for is a hardcore character. If you already have a hardcore character, I hope Massive gives you back that slot you can use, so you can have 4 regular characters on your one account. So here is the resources. You got 1 of each type of weapon. You got 1 of each type of gear. You have your shade. You have your field. And then you have your faction points. And you're going to need to get those and fill them up. Happy haunting. I'm Bear Essentials. This is Bear Buyers. And I apologize about the video earlier. Somehow the voice track did not get on there when I saved it, but we redid it. We're shipping it again. So I hope you enjoy.